Be me. 25, still stuck in retail even though I swore it was just a temporary stop after college. Lately I've noticed men are quieter, like they retreat into silence whenever things get real. My theory, women are more powerful now, and it makes them insecure, lol. Feels cleaner to frame it that way, instead of asking if something's actually wrong with them. Dad sits at the kitchen table every morning, chewing toast like it's a chore, radio whispering sports scores nobody cares about. Boots by the door, dust caked in the grooves. Proof his day will look exactly like yesterday. Mom once told me, he wasn't always like this, but I don't buy it. People don't just flip overnight, they decide who they're going to be. So yeah, to me, his silence is a choice. Same as my brother's one-word morning before he bolts out the door. When I tell him, use your words with a fake friendly smile, he just grimaces. Door clicks shut behind him, and that's the end of that conversation. Really seems to be a guy thing, so to the guys reading this, what's up with you all? Do women suddenly scare you? Head to work, same routine, scanning tags and folding shirts like my hands run on autopilot. Boring enough that I keep checking my phone whenever I can get away with it. Group chat buzzing as usual, me and the girlies keeping each other sane. Today's topic, men going silent, like they live in some secret cave of thoughts they'll never share. One of the girls says, funny how they act like their lives are mysteries when it's just depression and video games. We laugh, spam emojis, add stories about our brothers, dads, co-workers, all the same pattern. I type, well, I've got a date tonight, maybe I'll test the theory. They go wild, report back scientist, expose the male condition. One of them goes, drop the pic, we need to see. So I screenshot his profile and send it. His name is Ethan. Chat blows up. OMG, wait, I know him. Turns out one of the girls used to see him around her old friend group. She says Ethan was always decent, kinda quiet, but seemed to be doing well back then. Then apparently, he just disappeared, fell off the radar. No one really knew why. They hype me up. Go find out the tea, get the backstory, field research queen. Perfect setup for my little experiment, like fate picked the test subject for me. Fast forward, evening, cafe down the street that tries too hard with the exposed brick and citrus candles. He's already there when I walk in, cardigan sleeves rolled, fidgeting with his napkin like he's trying to fold it into an origami escape plan. I sit, smile, do the normal hello how are you. He's polite, not rude, but every answer is short, clipped like he's rationing words. I ask about work, he says, it's fine. I ask about hobbies, he shrugs, don't have time. Eye contact barely lasts a second before he looks down at his coffee cup. I can feel him pulling back, like there's a glass wall between us. And that's when I decide to lean in, play therapist, see if I can crack it. Lower my voice, tilt my head, tell him, hey, you don't have to hold everything in, it's not that deep. Ethan laughs once. No sound, like air leaking from a balloon, then shakes his head like he wants to drop the subject. I keep pressing, soft at first, then sharper, making jokes about how men implode if they don't vent once in a while. Finally, he sighs, long and heavy, and the wall starts to crack. He tells me about work first, how he joined a startup a couple years ago, right place at the right time. They were doing well for a while, funding rounds, late nights, talk of expansion. He thought he was finally on track, even bragged to his friends about being part of something real. Then the bottom fell out, investors pulled, half the team let go, office downsized to a co-working space with flickering lights. Says he kept his job, but it feels like a shell now. Clients backing out, projects dying halfway through. Admits he's scared he's wasting his prime years grinding for something that might not exist next month. From there, it spills over. Friends who used to hang out every weekend drifted once he couldn't keep up with their lifestyle. They're buying houses, planning trips to Europe. Meanwhile, he's cancelling plans because he can't afford another $200 night out. Says it makes him feel like he's disappearing from their world, like people stopped checking in when he stopped looking successful. Then his dad got sick last year. Real sick. And suddenly he was spending weekends driving back home, fixing things around the house, handling bills his mom didn't know how to deal with. Says it felt like every part of his life was pulling at him, but none of it was giving anything back. His voice starts to shake a little, napkin twisting tighter and tighter in his hands until it rips clean down the middle. I don't really tell people this, he admits, eyes darting around like someone might overhear. Please don't mention it. I don't usually talk about this stuff. Eyes meet mine, wide and uncertain, like he just dropped a glass and is waiting to see if I'll step on the shards. I smile, reassure him, say, of course, it's safe here. Inside, I'm already framing it for the group chat. See, push just a little and men spill everything. He even admits he's shy, says he hates feeling like a burden, that whenever he tries to talk, people change the subject or make it into a joke. I tell him vulnerability is attractive. Drop in a line I practiced in the mirror. He softens, actually smiles for the first time that night, small but real, like I handed him proof he hadn't embarrassed himself. And that's when I let it slip. Half joke, half jab. Wow, no wonder men stay quiet if that's what's rattling around in there. My tone light, but the words sharp enough to cut? His face changes instantly, all that trust I pulled out of him snapping back like a rubber band. He looks away, shoulders curling inward, and mutters, "Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said anything." I try to cover it with a laugh, pivot the conversation back to safer ground, but the damage is obvious. The trust he gave me is gone, replaced with a silence colder than when we started. We finish our drinks, the small talk strained, no more confessions, no more cracks in the wall. Before leaving, he says, quiet but clear, "Just don't mention any of this, okay?" I promise, smiling again like it's nothing. But I already know I'll tell the girls. Get home that night, Ethan's face still replaying in my head when he said, "Maybe I shouldn't have said anything." Find my brother in the kitchen rummaging through the fridge, hoodie up, headphones hanging around his neck. He glances at me, sees I'm dressed up, smirks. "So date night?" I roll my eyes, say yeah, then add, "Prove my point though. Men stay quiet until you push them, then they crumble." He closes the fridge, looks at me like I just said something stupid. "Or maybe," he says, "they stay quiet because every time they talk, people use it against them." I laugh it off. "That's dramatic. You guys just don't like losing control of the narrative." He doesn't back down, leans on the counter, arms crossed. "Nah, it's not control. It's self-defense. Why do you think Dad doesn't talk? You think he's scheming? Or maybe he just learned no one wants to hear it," I fire back. "Please, Dad's silence is power. He makes the whole house revolve around guessing what's in his head." Brother shakes his head, scoffs. "No, you just don't like that his story isn't for you." "Same with your date tonight, probably." His tone sharper now, like he's actually pissed. "Guys talk when they trust someone. You break that, don't expect a second chance." I try to keep the upper hand, say, "You're proving my theory right now. You're getting defensive instead of explaining." He throws back, "Why would I explain anything to you if you're just waiting to twist it into a joke for your friends?" That one stings more than I expect, even though I laugh it off and call him sensitive. He just shakes his head, grabs his hoodie, and says, "Yeah, exactly," before heading to his room. Left standing there, annoyed, but also unsettled. Not used to someone actually challenging me instead of just shutting down. Next morning, wake up, check phone, 0 notifications from Ethan. Not surprised. Expected the disappearing act. Still, I've got material for the group chat. Drop a message. Okay, so he actually cracked, spilled his life story. Immediately, 10 replies. OMG details. Give us the tea. Scientist delivers. So I type it out. Startup crash, friends ditching him, sick dad, money stress. Tell them how serious his face got, how he begged me not to tell anyone. They're eating it up. One girl says, "Classic. Men love to play leader until life humbles them." Another, crying over capitalism they built themselves LMAO. Someone else adds, "They invent the system, then collapse under it, and we're supposed to applaud when they admit it?" Chat fills with laughing emojis, gifs of men crying on TikTok. I admit I felt kind of bad in the moment, but they shut that down fast. He'd never censor himself if we were the ones spiraling. They posture strength all the time. Let them taste weakness. Girl, you did sociology fieldwork. Proud of you. They start analyzing his startup bro downfall like it's a case study. Bet he loved bragging when the money was good. Now he wants sympathy. Of course the friends ditched. Men only orbit each other when there's status involved. They're tearing into every piece of his story, and I can't lie. It feels good having the spotlight in the chat, like I brought back gold from the mine. Somebody jokes, so the male mystery is just financial ruin and daddy issues. Another, add that to the chart. I laugh along, but a small part of me replays his face when he said, "Please don't tell anyone." Push the thought down, keep typing. A couple days go by, still no message from Ethan. His profile pic disappears on the app, like he wiped it clean. I show the girls. Mission accomplished, you broke the specimen. I laugh, but it feels hollow. Brother's line keeps looping. Why would I explain anything if you'll twist it into a joke? That night, I'm doom-scrolling, TV on mute. Brother walks in without headphones, hoodie unzipped. Rare enough, I put my phone down. I tell him straight, you should talk more, you know? Keeping everything bottled up is why guys end up bitter like Dad. He raises an eyebrow, doesn't answer. I keep going, smug. Seriously, men act like trust is this big fragile thing, but it's only fragile because women have to hold it. If you guys didn't make everything such a secret, maybe we wouldn't joke about it. He shakes his head, mutters, you don't get it, and goes quiet. I take it as proof I'm right. Like, see, men's silence is on them, not us. Then he clears his throat, says, can I tell you something? Eyes still on the tile. He starts stiff, then words loosen. It's about Maya's sister, Lena. Maya is in my group chat. Her younger sister Lena is super popular. Hot girl that's dated half their school basketball team. I've liked her since orientation, he says, face red. She actually listens when people talk. He tried to speak to her after Psych Lab and froze, wrote a verse and chorus in voice memos, signed up for an open mic, bailed. I just wanted to do something real, not another hey that gets left on red. Then the secret. I sent her a real message once, said she makes campus feel less loud. I unsent it 5 minutes later. Please don't tell anyone, he adds fast, especially not Maya, she'll tell Lena for sure. I swear I won't. I mean it for about an hour. He looks at me like he wants to say more, like he's testing if I actually meant that promise. But then he shakes his head, mutters, forget it, and goes back to staring at the floor. I prod him. What else? You can tell me. He laughs without humor. No point. You'll just make it into something it's not. In bed, open my group chat. Memes, midnight selfies, lab partner complaints. Maya drops. Lena needs a guitarist for the charity showcase. Anyone? Someone. Lena's standards are insane. She rejects every guy. My thumbs get cute before my brain does. Lol, my brother would implode. Been into her since orientation. Even wrote a song. Immediate panic. I slam delete. You deleted a message. Too late. Wait, what brother? Maya? What song? Another. Screenshotted. I try. JK, metaphorical song. Maya. Metaphorical with a guitar? Someone else. Spill, field researcher. I close the app, like that, puts the fire out. There's a campus confessions page that eats rumors for breakfast. Someone from the group chat must have leaked this to them, tagged the Discord, and suddenly, initials became a name. Morning pings like an alarm. Maya DM. Did your brother really say that about Lena? Me. Late night brain fog lol. She sends my pre-delete screenshot with my username glowing at the top. It's fine, just curious, she writes. Not fine. Campus moves faster than oxygen. TikTok of Lena at rehearsal. Someone off camera. Play him the song. Comments use my brother's initials. Psych class whiteboard photo. Ballad boy. Underlined. Discord server. Ask brother to bring his guitar to section haha. Snap from 2 rows back. Him in lecture. Hoodie up. Music note sticker added. DM. Tell your brother Lane is into degrees and boundaries. By afternoon, he texts, did you say something? Me. Maybe a joke, but I deleted it. Him. Cool, thanks. I DM Maya. Please don't spread it. He's mortified. She replies, told Lena to ignore it, but you know how people are. Translation. Out of her hands and in everyone's mouths. The word hits like a brick. I try calling him that night, straight to voicemail. Shoot a you, okay? Text. But the read receipt sits there with no reply. He doesn't come home. When he finally walks in past midnight, he doesn't even look at me, just heads to his room. I hear his guitar case bump against the wall when he drops it, like he wanted me to know he was done even trying. 2 days later, he walks into my room, shaking, phone raised like a warrant. You did this, I start. I didn't name you. You said enough, he snaps, shoving the screen at me. Evidence, my message before deletion forwarded around. Lena's rehearsal selfie captioned, this week's soundtrack apparently. Campus meme, my brother crossing the quad. Ballad boy seeks chord progression, rejection in D minor. My handle visible in a cropped corner. It slipped, I say, useless and true. I tried to delete. You promised, he says, voice cracking. You swore. His eyes have that wet sharpness pain gives people. You turned me into content, he says, slow, like each word should dent me. You don't want to listen. You want material. Ethan figured it out. I forgot who I was talking to. Defense mode flicks on. It's not that deep. Everyone jokes. He laughs once, ugly. Not everyone's jokes get me heckled in class. Discord clowning, the ukulele guy, Lena's DMs full of screenshots, the professor asking if I want to share my creative process in front of 200 people. Do you know what that feels like? I reach for a sentence and grab air. It'll blow over, I mumble. He looks like I slapped him. I'm the punchline till someone else screws up bigger, he says, quieter, worse. He steps back like the room burns. You wanted a theory? Here. Dudes don't talk because people like you don't keep our words safe. You don't see us. You see stories. I try to say I'm sorry. The word tangles and dies. He nods like my silence proves his point. Don't expect me to open up again, he says, and closes my door gently, like the anger burned to ash. I stand frozen, staring at the door like it'll swing back open if I think hard enough. 5 minutes later, I knock. Soft, try. Hey, I didn't mean it like that. Silence. I wait, knock again. Finally, he says through the wood, voice flat. Go back to your chat. That's where you want the story to be anyway. I want to deny it, but the words die before they reach my mouth. The house feels huge after. I go for water. Dad sits at the table, toast untouched, glasses folded in his hands. He looks like he's practicing a sentence that won't leave his mouth. Everything okay? I ask, out of habit. Work's been... He starts. I cut in with a joke about late shifts. He nods, rinses his plate, exits. Later I hear Mom on the phone, voice low. They're cutting shifts. He's worried he'll be next. The cold coin drops. Phone lights with the chat. Maya. Okay, but Ballad Boy is wild. Another. Tell him to bring the guitar to Psych. We'll pass a hat. Screenshot of Lena's Be Kind story. Everyone reads, please stop. Nobody stops. I hover on a skull emoji, but my thumb freezes. I think about how I promised him, and how they promised me. Don't tell, won't spread, and none of us kept it. The secret had no oxygen the moment it touched the chat, and now it's wildfire. Maybe this is why men don't talk, because women turn confessions into entertainment, because a slip isn't just a slip, it's content. But another thought worms in. Wasn't it me who handed them the match? I don't want to sit with that, so I flip it back on them. If they'd really been my friends, they wouldn't have screenshotted, forwarded, laughed. The betrayal stings sharper than his anger did. Like, if even my own girls can't keep it quiet, maybe the problem isn't him being fragile. Maybe the whole system we built is just cruel. I log off, leave the phone face down. Room's dark, but my head won't stop glowing with images. Ethan's last look, my brother's soft door, Dad's swallowed sentence. For the first time, I can't tell if silence is weakness or survival. All I know is it's heavier than any words we've been trading.